I mean, ex-drug addict, your brain, my brain might never come back to, oh, that's a great thing to start off with. But that's the thing, I mean, the thing is, you know, that's been part of my, well, you know, that's part of my happiness lately, is that I've accepted that.
You have a lot of light.
Yeah. Keep the heart open. If you fried your brain, use your heart, like me.
I have a question though. What do you think about reishi? Like reishi, shaman,
Oh, yeah.
all the
Great question.
Tea Garden, David Wolf. I've been wanting to ask you that for so long.
Yeah, superfood thing.
I think that,
like the superfoods.
I'll tell you this about reishi mushrooms. Okay, I went to a Chinese doctor. This was before I knew anything about anything. After, like, at the end of my bodybuilding days. And I went to a Chinese doctor and he did all this stuff, and I was like, cool, man. I mean, it was a free little thing, you know. So, and I was totally broke and poor, but I had a few minutes, you know, walking around the streets, nothing better to do. Little Chinese doctor, free 15-minute consultation. So he says, you know, you need reishi mushrooms. And I was pretty broke, but I think it was like 12 bucks for this little bob of reishi mushrooms. So I started taking those, and on the first night that I took the allotted dose, they looked like little M&Ms. And the first night that I took the allotted dose, I had these insane, sweaty nightmares. And that's exactly what he said might happen. You know, that it's going to clean your spleen out, is what these reishi mushrooms are for. I had sweaty nightmares, and I knew intuitively, because I've always had a good intuition and sensitivity. I was like, wow, something was in those little pills, you know. I never heard about mushrooms or anything at that time. I mean, for me, I was a bodybuilder. It was about carrot juice and, you know, tuna fish and all that kind of stuff. I would eat 3 cans of tuna fish and like 4 carrot sticks, you know. And that would be my meal. And, but when I took the reishi mushrooms, you know, I can't deny it worked. It did what he said it was going to do. It cleaned out my spleen. And the spleen, you know, the spleen purifies the blood. And so, you know, that would die. And I've done a lot of different mushrooms since then, but nothing with that drastic of memory.
You don't really promote it a lot. That's what I was wondering.
I don't really promote a lot of things. Has anyone seen all the craziness going on recently? Okay, good. Just YouTube. You know, people accusing me of promoting all these things that I'm not promoting. Have you seen it? Everybody's out of the loop. Good. I'm out of the loop too. I'm taking a few days off.
But I haven't. It's not getting to us. So they're not sending the message. They want to send something. The haters, whatever. It's not gonna get to us.
Good.
Aww.
But you do recommend enzymes, right?
Well, enzymes are useful when you're juice fasting, because a lot of people have a lot of debris built up. And when they're drinking the juices, there's a lot of slime paste on the small and large intestine. And when you take the enzymes, it can get into the bowel wall there and help break up some of those accumulations on the wall of the GI tract. And it can help you to have less gas during the juicing. It can help you to absorb the juices better. They're also useful during cooked foods, which, you know, hey, 99% of the people are still eating cooked foods, you know. I'm 100% raw, vegan, stable as I've ever been, no cravings. I'm eating more fat. I'm eating more greens. Yeah. I always ate a lot of greens, and that's why I kept my teeth in my head. That was real smart. I always drink a lot of juice, and I always actually did eat my fair share of avocados. That was the only thing I did, but I thought I was so wrong. It was my intuition keeping me alive, buffering me from the insanity of like this community, this world. So I would go on these avocado binges, and I'd eat 2, 3, 4 avocados in one sitting, once a week or something. And I thought I'm such a bad person, but I never felt bad. It was all in my mind. And now I do that every single night. And I feel fantastic every day. And I went to the gym. I'm just strong and stable. My energy, my mood. That's the main thing I can think of with what I've done with these protocols. My energy is so stable, I can't believe it.
But then, you come from a world of toxicity, as you say. You had a history of, drugs, alcohol, sugar. For somebody like you, detoxifying that high, like that solid, choosing, it's maybe hemp. But a lot of people, they are not, they didn't have that bad history.
Yeah.
Most of the people, normal people, who lives home, you know, who go to school, do their
Ate too many
job,
cheeseburgers.
They eat too
Yeah.
much. Yeah, that's also
But that's-
toxicity, you know.
But at least that's not super synthetic. Like what I did is I totally saturated my body for years with super synthetics, methamphetamines. You know, it was pretty much for 2 years straight, and then I slowly but surely, but okay, just this once, with a buddy or something.
I want
Don't
to
do that
finish my
again.
question then.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. I mean, you did this for, everybody that came into this world of raw food for health issue, they want to
Put
detoxify,
the camera on him, please.
they want to detoxify.
Is it okay with him? Is it okay to be on
Is
camera?
it okay for anyone here to be on camera?
Well, yeah,
Everyone's cool?
Okay, I got you.
So,
Thanks, man. Smart.
detoxification, this is a question. Detoxification for somebody who didn't have a history of addiction or trauma versus detoxification for somebody who come from the normal world, which is the normal diet things,
Right.
the cheese and the thing. Now I want you to tell me about too much detoxification. They call it rectoxification. Have you heard of that word?
Orthorexia.
Rectoxification, which when you detox too much.
Yeah.
Because when you detox too much, you can also remove a lot of minerals,
That's right.
and you get into that deficiency again. So what do you?
That's why I designed this protocol. That's why it's so genius that it came to me in the desert. I was really searching my heart. I don't feel right about this breaking off from the fruits and veg, but I can't deny that it's working. So I was kind of in turmoil for a few days, And I went out into the desert for another vision quest, and I got it. I was like, this is the way to alkalize, energize, hydrate, neutralize, antioxidize, energize, flush, as well as, but not get depleted. That's why this 21-day program that I just explained in there is like genius. It's going to work for the vast majority of people. There are ethnic differences, but I've also taken that into account. Because actually, believe it or not, the melanin dominant brothers, you guys actually do need more minerals and more protein from the research that I've, read. And a lot of these white dudes on YouTube and stuff, they can live a lot longer on a lower mineral, lower protein diet. I actually have American Indian in me, and I think that was where some of the contraindication was coming from. Plus the fruits. I thought I was educated, but until the light bulb turns on, it's not on. And now I'm going to be growing my own fruits, talking to the farmers, and I'm going to be looking for mineral-dense, truly ripe fruit, or I'm not going to be eating it. I'm not going to be eating hybridized fruit. Huh?
Heirloom fruit.
Heirloom fruits with seeds, because those seeds are the fatty acids and the proteins that you need to stay balanced. These seedless fruits, sugar, sugar, sugar. I'm not a sugar phobic, believe me. I love sugar. I love vegetable sugar. I love fruit sugar. But I need to stay balanced. No more roller coaster ride, mental depletion, and this whole energy roller coaster going up and down. One day the fruit is good and really mineral rich and sweet and delicious, and the next day you're getting some oranges that aren't ripe, or you're getting some peaches or pears that aren't ripe, and you're stripping your body of minerals and calcium.
Did you talk at all about how you transitioned from this 21-day protocol to a normal protocol?
Actually, the protocol is my lifestyle, but I'm just calling it a 21-day protocol so that everyone doesn't freak out. But once they get on it and they do it for 21 days, then they'll see that.
Do you ever add any soap seeds and nuts?
In the evening, I might add some hemp seeds into the salad. I might throw some soaked sunflower seeds in there. I don't eat a lot of seeds or nuts because they're hard to find fresh. Now, I am pretty well educated. When I see a fresh macadamia nut, I can see it. From the outside, I can see a rancid one and I can see a fresh one. And when the fresh ones are there, the oils are kind of like dripping off the outside. They're big and white and plump. And then the other ones, they're all yellowy and weird and dry, and those are rancid. Sunflower seeds, 6 months, 9 months old. The fat's in there, been through this and this warehouse, put over here. There's moisture, there's oxidation. You've got to find these companies that are really catering to people like me. They're like, hey, how do you process your nuts? Are they fresh? When were they harvested? Did you leave them in cold storage? What kind of bottles do you use? Are they stone crushed, or are you using mechanical means? What's the highest temperature? Do you grill these people? Do your research and find out. Now, there's just reputable sources. Once you find a reputable company and you know they know what they're doing because they really care about the quality of their products, you're willing to pay more. I don't care how much I gotta pay to get fresh, sunflower seed oil, or the fresh sesame oil, or the walnut oil for my brain. You know what I'm saying?
I have one more question about the fruits and the sugar of the fruit. I mean, I know your position in sugar is like okay, but there is other people out there who say that sugar could not be good for you, whatever, like synthesized sugar or natural sugar. Your body will be dealing with sugar, like somebody who have cancer, diabetes, for example. You're not gonna say, okay, put some fruits in your diet. You're gonna try to cleanse him first, take the cancer out, and then, you should add the sugar like slowly. So what do you think of that?
Cancer is an accumulation of toxins.
Yes.
So you don't really feed a cancer cell. What you do is you open up the detoxification pathways, and then the cancer can the cells can be removed and eliminated. So some of the fruits, they're just not fruit. They're just little hybridized sugar balls with no minerals. So there's no conductivity.
Another thing that we haven't really talked about, which I don't know if you'll want to get into, is what Tavis was so adamant about when he would say don't eat any fruit unless it's heirloom, is because parasites are fed with hybridized sugar, but parasites are not fed with heirloom fruit sugars.
There's rampant parasites in the raw food community, and I don't even think they're aware of it, but you can see it in their behavior, in their attitude towards other people, and the way that they are relating to life.
Well, with everyone, unless you deliberately take action to remove your parasites, it's almost impossible to get rid of them because
Once
it takes
you know
deliberate
that they're
action.
there, you can actually transcend them. You don't have to listen to them anymore, and you can, through this diet that we're talking about, through the conductivity. They don't like electricity, they don't like alkalinity, they don't like love, they don't like higher frequencies. They need damp, dark, lower frequencies to live in. So cooked food, bad attitudes, self-pity, pity parties, hatred, anger, criticism, judgment. In those fields of energy, those parasites can thrive, but not with love and happiness. Parasites hate love and happiness and joy. Okay, and they also don't like the electricity. They're like, this sucks, There's also anti-parasitic herbs like ginger, cayenne, cloves, and garlic as well. And so once you know that the parasites are there, because a lot of these people, they don't even know that the parasites are there, and they're just acting insane, and everyone can see it except, them, because they're not aware of that. They don't have that education yet. But once you know about your parasites, you can consciously rise above them, and you say, no, I'm a raw foodist.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they'll leave your body, right?
No,
I'm pretty
the
sure
hard
you have to
work.
have pretty. I mean, as far as what Tavis said is like, yeah, you can rise above them and not fall into their, because they kind of control your consciousness. Like, it goes into a lot of deep layers with this whole parasite stuff that we're learning. But in order to actually get rid of them, you have to do some very specific things.
Yeah, you have to create higher levels of conductivity through the diet and the mental and emotional states. The emotional states, when they become, when they get to a lower level, it allows for these organisms that are unfriendly to thrive and survive in your organism. That's why you have to constantly focus on love, and you have to constantly focus on the hydration, the alkalinity, and creating It's called terrain modification, where you're changing the terrain, and the cayenne helps the terrain. Those guys are like, oh, this sucks, and they get really pissed off. They're like, this is not cool. It's
You're
like
creating an inhospitable environment for
Right.
them and weakening them. And then once they get very weak, you can do a certain few actions to finally get rid of them once they're weak. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
What you do is you modify the terrain, and then they leave on their own. And the way they leave is out your eyes, out your ears, out your nose, out your mouth, out your skin, out your behind, out your urine.
What about colonics? That helps, doesn't it?
That's the thing. I mean, parasites aren't just. Most of us think that the parasites are down here. There's nematodes in your brain. There's pockets
kinds.
There's unlimited types of parasites, and they are very intelligent creatures, and they are modifiers, and they are adapters. And so you have to really outsmart them.
So it's bacteria.
It's a virus. It's viruses, and they're actually very unique. I wish I knew more about them. I haven't had much time to research much more on the parasites because I've been creating this other stuff, and I've also been doing a lot of research on creating superhumans, super babies. I'm really interested. That's my main area of expertise and study, is helping women and men to create better babies, because most of us were pretty screwed.
Yeah, we heard about those babies coming now with cancer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, we're so weak that it's like a dude like me, like I said at the beginning of this video, I might not be able to get my brain back, and so I'm at peace with that now, because I was real sad. I was like, you stupid, you fried yourself, you're never going to get back, you're never going to get enlightened, you're never going to feel the presence of God, you're never going to have like a real intelligence to be able to tap into the field and garnish that knowledge from the infinite light. And I just was like, over the past few months, I've really just accepted that. It's okay. You're just you, Dan. You did what you did. Accept it. Do the best you can to regenerate the brain, to regenerate the nerves, and be happy with who you are and where you are, and maximize your karma for this time around, and then come back and you'll have better karma. You'll get to do it again, in a better body, with better circumstances. But I'm just in a state of acceptance, and that's brought so much peace and so much more conductivity, so much more illumination, so much more energy. Self-acceptance is such a great source of continual energy throughout the day, because when you resist yourself, you really do create these neuropeptides in your blood, which blocks flow. It's kind of like adrenaline that sort of enhances energy in one way, but also blocks energy in another. It's hard to have adrenaline and love at the same time, unless it's a love-inspired adrenaline. Like when the mom picks up the car off the baby, that kind of thing, which is more of a fear-based adrenaline, but anyways, certain neuropeptides can affect the flow of energy, for sure. So you have to keep all of your states, and that's why nobody's getting me down. No one's going to get me down, because this is my happiness you're trying to mess with, and I am not going to have a bad day due to criticism, judgment, or any of that crap. That is not for me. That's why I'm kind of avoiding everything right now. It's an avoidance technique, I realize, but I've gotten on there and looked around at what's going on the YouTube and stuff right now. It's like, okay, a bunch of crazies running around. They don't know me at all, because you guys can see me. Do I seem fairly sane? Do I feel like I have any bad intentions? I think I could even be helpful. I hope that I'm being helpful to you all by sharing this amazing passion that I have. I'm just getting started. The things that are happening to me lately are incredible.
Can I ask you, how do you get B12?
How do I get B12? I eat dirt. I eat dirt. I leave the dirt on the lettuce. Not huge chunks of mud, but if there's a little bit of dirt on the lettuce, a little bit of dirt on the celery, and the potato.
Aren't you on the edge of the ledge? That's chancing, isn't it?
No, not organic dirt. It's chancing it to not get some microorganisms from clean soil.
What about when I garden? I feel like not to use gloves, just to use my hands so I can absorb it.
Another good way, yesterday I was eating my first batch of arugula out of the garden.
Yeah,
Dirty.
I had arugula so good, peppery, yeah.
Dirty.
And everybody will look at me crazy. Like, what are you doing?
You gotta rinse that. You're like, rinse it? How am I gonna get my B12?
Yeah, and I tell you why B12 is so important. I became a vegan 19 years ago, and after 6 years, I collapsed in my apartment. I was on the floor for 8 days and nights before someone found me. I was in the hospital with 3 tubes in my arm for 5 weeks in a hospital bed. I could not walk for 3 months. I had to have 5 therapists teaching me to walk. And it took another 3 months in aborted care before I could go back to my apartment.
And it was a neurological disorder?
B12, right?
Lack of B12.
Yeah, so it was neurological. You couldn't, your nerves weren't responding?
Right. I had nerve damage, and that's why I'm not sitting on the floor like you guys. If I sat on the floor, I couldn't get up.
So you taking B12 supplements now?
I absolutely do.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And which is one B12 supplement a week. I mean, solve the problem, big deal. But if you're a natural dude like
Even
me,
if you
just
take-
go out and play
yeah,
in the
if you
dirt.
take a multivitamin that's a good one, like a new chapter or something that originates from food.